What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is Monday. Today's Martin Luther King Day, or Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So, the markets are closed today. I figured that it would be probably a good idea to take this time and kind of do like a weekly recap video because we had a red week this week, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff to actually learn from how price action played out this week and how the trades I took and stuff like that. So, I'm probably not going to do like a weekly recap every single week, but when we have weeks where I feel like there's just a lot of like things that we could learn, like a lot of lessons basically, I think that it's not a bad idea to kind of go over everything that I kind of learned trading this week. And so let's go ahead and hop into the screen recording. This week was very news heavy. We had CPI, PPI, unemployment claims, pretty much red folder news every single day. And then that kind of resulted in some price action that was a little bit tricky for me to read. Maybe not necessarily, I wouldn't say tricky for me to read. I would say more of my trades were not really, my trades were struggling to play out how I wanted them to, I guess, is something that I'll say. So here, we're on the 5 minute. We can see the first trade that I took this week. I took longs off of a break of this level, and then at the time, this level here that I had marked out, I'm pretty sure I added it in later on in the week, so it wasn't actually, like this level here wasn't actually marked out, at least I don't think. That's one thing about doing weekly recaps, because I'm adding levels, I'm deleting levels, so it's not like perfectly within each day. So if you want to see the trade recap from like Monday, you're just gonna have to go watch on YouTube just to see like how the chart's set up. But I'm on the 5 minute right now, and I just want to say like one of the everything about this trade I'm not upset with. You see that we had a break of this level, a retest. I took longs on the retest, and we were up. We were very close to TP. You can see based on this, just by this wick, we were like right at TP. And then we had a quick reversal, got stopped out, and price did end up playing out, hitting our take profit that we had set after stopping this out. And I feel like that was that's very indicative of like what was, or that shows kind of like what was happening. This was basically just a good example of how a lot of these trades were going and how they were playing out this week. This was a no news Monday, so price action was a bit tricky, a little bit trickier. And like for this trade here though, the best thing I could have done is move stops to break even and gotten out of break even after I saw we had because literally we had a one candle that pushed up almost hit take profit in one candle. Like that's a very big move in terms of the move that I'm catching, right? Like almost in one candle we almost started to take profit, and right before we closed we ended up flipping this candle and closing red. So that is a huge indication that price is going to reverse and move down. And this is just an example, or an instance like this. We have a huge push up that kind of just looks to me like a bit of a liquidity sweep basically, and then a reversal. So I should have done here is I should have moved stops to break even, gotten out of break even after I saw this candle. Literally, this candle almost hit take profit and then closed red. That is a huge indication that price is gonna move down. And that's what happened. It moved down, hit our stop loss, and then ended up playing out. So what I should have done is I should have moved stops to break even, gotten out after this candle flipped. Reassess the markets, see if I thought this trade was still valid, and then re-enter if I had gotten out of break even, because that, like I said, getting out of break even doesn't put any more risk onto the account. So it gives us the opportunity to enter in on one more trade. And yeah, I mean, it's like looking back in hindsight, clearly this was something that I should have done, right? And even while I was in the trade, I was thinking about getting out of break even, but I just decided to let it play out, which it really wasn't smart. I mean, like, even if we just had like a little rejection and the candle still closed green, holding I think wouldn't be that bad of an idea. But the fact that we actually flipped red and just the crazy size of this wick here shows me that we should have probably gone out of break even and then reassess and decide if we wanted to enter another trade or not. And that was Monday's trade. Oops. Then we move on. Tuesday was the only winning trade that we took this week, right? Which is unfortunate, but it was a really clean trade. This day here, I felt like I had read the markets really well. If you want to see the recap for this trade, it's called like I read the markets perfectly today or something like that. It was basically just a play off of this range that was created by this news candle, which was created from PPI. So we had the low, and then we also had this gap up that had, or like this gap. Yeah, it is a gap. It was a gap that we had in the markets that had also marked out. It was basically sitting right on top of the low of this news candle. Highs and lows of news candles offer a good amount of liquidity, basically meaning that there are going to be a lot of orders filled at the highs and lows. We saw that also gaps, or basically it's like an imbalance in the market, right? We had this gap up, we came in, tapped into this gap, and we also tapped into the low of this news candle, and we started to get a bullish reaction. So I took longs after we pretty much engulfed the body of this candle and played it up right to the nearest level of resistance that I have marked out over here. I'm pretty sure this level here was not marked on the charts when I was trading, but anyways, or during this particular day that I was trading. But anyways, we got out perfectly, just a really clean trade. And yeah, it turns out that it was against the trend because we ended up selling off. But that is a pretty clean trade that I really liked. From Tuesday, move on to Wednesday. Where is Wednesday? Alright, Wednesday was CPI day. This was the trade we took, guys. This was another instance where we were right at TP. We were up well, we weren't right at TP in this one. We were up at 1.37 to 1R. We were pretty close to TP though. We were over 1 to 1R on pretty much every loss we took except for Friday. If you saw Friday's video, it was just, I went on tilt basically. It wasn't horrible in terms of P&L loss, but it was really bad in terms of trading. So we're going to get it all into that later. I didn't actually mark out any of the trades I took on TradingView because it would just look like a huge mess, but I went over the executions in my Friday recap because I always keep it as transparent as I can. But basically, CPI happened. We basically had a very solid retail. Well, we didn't perfectly touch this level, but we came down, and a lot of buyers started to buy into this level, or buy in at this level, whipped back up, had a very clean break, and then a retest and a continuation up. We had one more retest here, which was bought up. I took longs as I saw this candle getting bought up, and immediately we were up a good amount before price unfortunately had a very slow sell-off, a lot of barcode chop, moved back down, and then ended up moving up, playing out how I kind of like, or basically the trade ended up playing out, but after we basically went back down and retested this sort of area here. And so yeah, that was just unfortunate. I wasn't upset about this trade either because in my opinion it was a solid trade. We just couldn't quite hit TP, and price action was a bit slow. I didn't expect to see any resistance until SPY started to come up into 595 area. This was like 593 on SPY that this started to have this slow sell off, and then this chop, which is on ES is like, what is this, 59.91.75. Like I don't. This is why I don't like basing levels off of ES numbers. It's just so much easier to look at SPY because they move the exact same. So, but anyways, yeah, we had a move up, and I'm not really upset about this trade either because I did think that we were gonna continue pushing, and we unfortunately didn't. So I'm not upset. I'm not upset about taking this loss. I'm not as upset that I didn't move stops to break even. Because like I said, I really did. Maybe after this, maybe after this green candle came up, tested this 5-minute high, and then rejected, maybe then I should have gone out. But you know what? I'm not upset about this trade. I did expect buyers to push price back up off this level, which they tried to, but unfortunately a lot of sell pressure came in and broke down. Then we ended up continuing moving up. So that was that trade, and then this trade here. This was the only trade that was kind of that kind of didn't really feel like I did the best job on. And I would say that because, let me see, I entered in off of this red candle. So I entered in off of this red candle, and yeah, we hit a 1.29 to 1R before price came back up. And the problem was I didn't have this red level marked out on my Tradevate, and I wasn't looking at TradingView at the time, so I only had this top level marked out that I saw a break and retest set up for me. I didn't have this level marked out here, and that kind of caused me to, once I saw this price start to reverse, I didn't do anything. What I should have done is I should have made sure I 100% knew where my levels were, and then once I saw buyers stepping in and creating a pretty big wick off of this, followed by a green open, I should have gotten out at break even. And that's just the second example. Just like on Monday, how I could have gotten out break even, saved a loss. I think this was another good example where I could have gotten out at break even, saved myself from another loss. And yeah, that was just because I didn't see this level on my trade rate. I basically didn't assess the markets how I should have. I should have came in knowing exactly where my levels were, and then I didn't. We did catch a clean breakout though, and if I had just targeted this level, that would have been actually a clean trade. I usually do try and hit more than just a 1 point whatever. I'm almost always trying to look for a 2-to-1 art, but with this week, what it has taught me is that when market price action is more on the choppy side, you know, like I wouldn't say price action was horrible this week, but there were definitely some days where it just like, you know, like this, the time of day that I'm trading for price to just be doing this, you know, it's pretty tough, you know what I mean? So either be more patient or come in earlier. I don't know, because the open has actually been really clean. It's just the time of day that I trade, which is after the first 30-minute candle closes, when I like to take my first trade. That time of day for this week was just really bad. And then we would have moves up, you know, like that would have been a clean move up, you know, move down, whatever. And yeah, then we move on to Friday, where basically the thing about Friday, guys, I had an idea of what I wanted to see involving SPY. I wanted to see SPY gap up over 595, come back down and retest 595, and then continue moving up. And that's exactly what happened. But when I saw that we had a strong rejection off this level, I wanted to take shorts. I took shorts. We were up like, I don't remember exactly where I took shorts at. It was probably on this candle, but I ended up getting stopped. I ended up making like a very small amount of profit. I was up like maybe like between like $60 and $80 before price reverse stopped me out for $150 loss across three different accounts. And then at that point, I had already taken that was like my third losing day in a row. I basically, psychology just broke. I took off the max daily loss limit, and I basically just went on tilt. I kept trying to take shorts, and then I tried to trade longs, and yeah, I mean, it was just unfortunate, you know. In terms of P&L loss, we lost like 270 on two accounts and like 350 on one account, which isn't horrible. It's breaking risk management. The max loss that we should be taking is around 150 per account. It's like a total of 450 on the day. But yeah, we can see again though that the time of day that I trade, the price action was just not great. Like this chop just during the time of day that I trade, right? At open we had moves up, rejection, then chop, and then after we had just this slow buy up. And yeah, I don't know. Price action wasn't amazing on this day, but that does not excuse the fact that I went on tilt. And yeah, that is basically really all that we have. What is this? This from today? This looks like pretty good price action, honestly. I don't know what time this was, but let me see. What does it say? 13:30 on Monday 20. What is 13:30? 12. Wait, is that 1 a.m.? I guess that's 1 a.m. But still, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's Martin Luther King Day. We're not really trading, but this I'm pretty sure is pre-market or post-market or something like that. And that's unfortunate, bro. I feel like price action is like the best whenever it's like 5 in the morning for me, which is like an hour before market opens. I feel like that is when market is just moving the best, like the cleanest price action. And that's kind of unfortunate, you know what I mean, for me, because I don't think I can just be waking up at 5 a.m. But like, yeah, if you look at the 1 hour, bro, we got some clean breakout retest setups off this level, so it's gonna be something to look out for. I think this might be, actually an area where I'm going to be interested in right here. Um, just because if we break down below here, we can see that on the 1 hour time frame, we've got this pretty small body, big weight. Basically shows me that there was an accumulation before a move up that actually ended up breaking a little bit. Well, it pretty much rejected off this level, but we came back down, retested this, came up, retested again, came up, and then so yeah, I'm gonna mark this out for later, and then after this video, I'm probably gonna start drawing my levels and looking at the charts and getting ready for tomorrow. But yeah, this is gonna be an area where I'll be interested in looking for either bounces or break and retest. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Let's just, while we are on this, let's go ahead and put that max daily loss limit back in, so that hopefully we don't go on tilt again. And yeah, while I'm doing this, guys, I'll just go ahead and talk about like a little bit of stuff, because this it can be very discouraging, you know what I mean, whenever you feel like, because I feel like for me, I've been doing really good. Not this week. Well, not even just like what am I trying to say? I feel like during the new year, there have been a couple days where I've kind of crashed out, which was the first day of trading the first day I traded this year, and then on Friday. Those were the 2 days where I kind of crashed out and broke my risk management, broke the psychology. But other than that, I felt like I had been doing, especially last week, I did really good in terms of managing my trades last week. There was a lot of similar things that were happening where price would hit a 1-to-1 and then we'd get a big reversal or something, and I would actually get out and lock in some profit, you know what I mean? Like my full trades weren't playing out, but I was able to read price action really well, and I was able to just kind of get out wherever I figured price would reverse and lock in profit, not having the biggest day ever, but still having a green day over a red day. I feel like I did really good on that last week. If you want to go look at some of last week's recaps, I feel like that was some really good trading by me. But this week, you know what I mean, we had basically a similar thing happen where we've had these trades, they were doing really well, but they didn't end up playing out. And instead of managing them very well like I did last week, I actually didn't really manage them as well, and I let them run to stop loss when I should have been getting out at break even. And I think if we had managed our trades better, well, I know if we had managed our trades better, that would have actually saved the week, and assuming that we didn't crash out on Friday. So yeah, I feel like all this being said though, like I feel like coming in from last week being a really good week for me, to this week not being the best week, not in terms of like, I'm not upset with the trades I took, so that's good, but I'm upset with the way I mismanaged them, and then the psychology, that I broke my psychology on Friday, and I just crashed out. So those are the two biggest things I'm upset about this week, you know what I mean? But those are also things that I can really learn from pretty much, and implement. I can try to come up with ways to be able to catch that and prevent it from happening next time, you know what I mean? So if we have another week like this week where price action is a little bit choppy during the time of day I'm trading, then if that happens again, then maybe I might just consider waiting another half hour before I enter in on trade, which wouldn't be too much of a bad idea. It would work on patience and discipline. But the other thing is that I will be able to kind of see that coming, and I will be able to try and implement these new, create new rules, or implement new things into like my strategy. Not in terms of like the steps I'm looking for, but more in terms of like the psychological aspect and the aspect that involves managing my trades. So I feel like that is something I'm gonna have to look for in next week's trading. Next week's gonna be a 4-day week, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I do like 5-day weeks, but we'll go into 4-day week. Hopefully we'll have some clean price action. Next week is not very news heavy at all, so we'll see how that ends up playing out, if it will play out in our favor or if it will play out against us. And another thing that I want to talk about is it can be very discouraging, feeling like you're going in circles, basically going from last week where I feel like I did really good trading, moving into this week where I feel like I didn't do that great. I don't want to say I did really bad. The only day where I did really like horrible was on Friday, where we just lost the control of the psychology, and we just took out that daily loss limit, and it it spiraled from that. But you know what I mean. Aside from that, I feel like yes, I could manage. I should have managed my trades a lot better. But that is something that I normally will just let my trades play out. And in this instance, there were too many days in a row where just letting trades play out would cause me to just basically go on a losing streak rather than catching enough wins to actually make this week profitable. So it sucks, you know what I mean? But it's going to be something that we're going to have to adapt to. We're going to have to work on managing our trades. And but anyways, I kind of forgot what I kind of went off track of what I was saying. What I was trying to say was it can be super discouraging, but you know what I mean? It's basically just the game of this, you know what I mean? The game of trading is like, you got to, you know, every time you think you're doing good, you think something's happening, you know what I mean? There's going to be challenges, not just with trading, but like in life in general, you know what I mean? There's always going to be challenges, there's always going to be drawbacks, but it's like how you deal with them, you know what I mean? Which is why I'm so grateful that I started trading, because it's just really taught me how to like learn from my mistakes and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I'm basically literally out here creating whole videos just because it's like a way for me to kind of like hold myself accountable and like learn from all these mistakes, and hopefully it will reflect, the learning will start reflecting in the charts soon. And I know that, I feel like it definitely already has, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I still slip up sometimes, but we gotta keep in mind, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still only on my second year of trading. Like, once we hit April, that's gonna be whenever I've officially been trading for 2 years. I've made an insane amount of progress from when I first started, when I knew nothing about trading, you know, to after my first year of trading, you know, I made a little bit of progress, and then just on the second year of trading, I feel like the progress has been super, super good. We're working on getting our second payout, you know what I mean? And like, you know, unfortunately we've lost funded accounts, we've lost money on live accounts and stuff, but that's all part of the game though, you know what I mean? So it's like, just gonna take all of this, take all of these mistakes, and we are going to try and learn from them and try and make sure that next week we come into the markets with a better plan on how we manage the trades, and that should hopefully solve some of our problems, you know what I mean? And yeah, we'll just come in, we'll be more patient, even more patient than we were this week, and we'll just see how the markets end up moving, and hopefully we can get a little bit cleaner price action, particularly during the time of day that I trade. But if we are still going to be on that 7 a.m., which is 10 a.m. EST, I'm going to just talk about PST, the 7 a.m. chop, you know what I mean? We're just going to have to wait another 30 minutes before we take the trade, which will be probably a good thing, because that will just be able to help me with my patience and discipline on the charts. So yeah, you know, markets are closed today. I feel like this was a good thing though, to kind of take that 3-day weekend after having a bit of a rougher week, and kind of just reflect on it today, so we can come into tomorrow with a clean mindset and basically be ready to hopefully catch some winning trades, you know what I mean? And if we're not able to catch that, if we have another red week, you know, we'll just make sure that it was for a good reason, you know. Just make sure that we stuck to the strategy, make sure we stuck to the risk management, and make sure that we managed our trades well, you know what I mean? So I think that is really all that I've got for this weekly recap. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not going to do a recap for every single week, because I do trade recaps every single day. Adding a weekly recap to that, I feel like, I don't know, it would be a lot, and I don't really know how beneficial it would be. But for weeks like this, where there's a lot of lessons to be learned, I feel like it is important to go over it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's all I got for this week, or this previous week. We can come into the markets tomorrow with a clean mindset. Hopefully we'll be patient and disciplined and wait to see how the markets are going to react. But anyway, or react to all this stuff, you know. We've got like inauguration is today, so it's gonna be interesting to see how the markets react to that. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys had a better week than me, and if you didn't, you know what I mean, don't be discouraged about it. Just remember, go over your mistakes, you know what I mean, figure out what you did wrong, figure out how to implement change, figure out how to implement change and adaptation into your trading for this up and coming week, and hopefully we can all crush this next week, make hell money. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.